Hi, my name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is Monday, December 19th. Only a few days to go until the holidays and Christmas. That's right. So I've got the fire on tonight. I want to make it a bit more festive than usual. It's very warm in here. I've got my warm shirt on as well. So do forgive me if it gets a bit hot later on. We'll see how we go. Make sure everything's working here just fine. And we'll get started. So let me see. So it's the 19th. So next week is going to be the week in between Christmas and... No, it's not. Next Monday is going to be the day after Christmas. Oh, wow. Okay. Am I crazy? Yeah. Okay, be the day after Christmas next week. And the week after that will be the new year. So I want to talk about my plans for the new year, but maybe I'll save that until next week. I'll see. I'll see what we talk about today. Okay. Patsy Smith, hello everyone in the chat. Sending greetings for the holiday season from the UK. Rosanna, good evening. Aaron, hi, how you doing? Everyone here in the chat, happy Monday. Good to see you. Thanks for moderating. The blue spanner next to someone's name means that they're moderating the chat. And if we get any spam or rude comments, they can kick them out on my behalf. So thanks for doing that, Rosanna. I appreciate it. Rexomatic says, greetings from Phoenix. Good to see you. David Belcher, how you doing, David? Good afternoon, Aaron, and everyone in the chat. Good to see you here today. Kevin says hi from Indiana. Jim Masters says hello from Suffolk, Virginia. Another Suffolk, but on the other side of the world. How you doing, Jim? Nice tree, that's right. It's just a bit hot with that fire. It's just getting a bit sweaty. I've opened the window, though, so it should be okay. Hopefully the wind won't blow the flames out. Boxing Day, that's right, it will be Boxing Day. Am I going to go live? Yes, I'm going to go live on Boxing Day. It's not Boxing Day in the USA, and it'll be fun because I don't think Santa's visiting me this year. I think Santa, when I said to Santa I wanted a new guitar, he said, Aaron, you've been a bad boy, you've bought too many guitars, too much gear, you're not going to get any gifts this year. Just a lump of coal in the stocking. So I'm not too disappointed, Santa, because, you know, I've been working hard and got my own gifts for myself. So I don't mind. You give them to somebody else, Santa. But I will be here to see what you got brought for Christmas Day. Or what you did for Christmas. Or what you got other people for Christmas. Victor, he says, hi, Aaron. Happy holidays to you and everyone. Yes, thank you so much. It's exciting, isn't it? So let's talk about that. Are you ready for the holidays? Have you done shopping? Have you written cards? How do you celebrate? Are you ready for it? Let me know in the chat. I haven't done that much. I've had an advent calendar, as you know from last week, and I think that's about it. I've been playing some Christmas songs at my shows, and we could discuss Christmas music if you want to. What's the best Christmas song to play? And also the ins and outs of playing seasonal music. What do you think about that? Like at your shows? Like when do you play it? What do you play? And are there any ups and downs to that? You know, it's an interesting one. Staley says hi. I love Staley's icon, the play button. Did you design that yourself, Staley? I just think that's so great. Every time I see your comment, it just jumps right out at me. Says nice fire. Yes, just don't let me get too close. That could be the end of me. Staley says I am looking at the Zoom H4n versus the Tascam, the one you like that's 400. Well, let's start with that then. Let's jump over and take a look at those two products and see what I think of them. So we'll start with the Zoom H4n. I think I saw another one just released recently that has the float recording that I like on mine. I can't think what it's called now. It might be a new Zoom. I can't think right now. But anyway, you're looking at this one. This one's $200. It's definitely cheaper. Let's take a look here. That's the one, right? The H4n. So let's take a look. You've got the same design, basically. You've got the stereo mics on top. And you've got a black and white screen, not a color touch screen. So I do think that the color touch screen is worth it. I think it makes it incredibly simple to use. It looks nice. It's easy to see what's going on. You've got the physical buttons on this one, but you've got the physical buttons on mine as well, which would be the Tascam X8. Mine has USB-C. This has the older USB connector. I'm just looking for reasons why you might want to spend the extra $200. I mean, this right now is $50 off, but right now this is $200 and mine's $400. Okay, so I'm just looking at reasons why you might want to get the one that I have over this. It looks like they're basically going to do the same job though. You've got 2 inputs there. Mine has 4 inputs, but you might not even need that. I only really use it to record handheld with the built-in microphones. So that's a tough one. I don't know how to answer that. I'll tell you what I'll do. So first of all, I've heard that Zoom make really good stuff and very affordable stuff. I've reviewed some of their mixers and things on the channel, and they are excellent products for the money. But let me give you the argument why I would get the one that I have. Now, I think this one looks great, and I bet it's great. So if that's what you want to spend, you should get this one. But let me tell you why you might want to get the one that I have over this one. And then you can decide which you want to get. So mine is actually the Tascam X8, like this. So aside from the fact it's more expensive, let's just go through this. So these are 2 mics on the top. You can unscrew them here and put other mics on. I don't think I'll ever do that. You can also reverse them by unscrewing them and switch them the size that they're on. So rather than go across like this, they go out like this. The touchscreen, I just think, is really useful. I think that adds a lot of value. I literally just turn it on, hit that manual record button there, the M, and just hit record and go. It's that simple. When I'm done, I come back to this screen, tap on the file icon there at the bottom, the memory card icon. That puts it into disk mode. I plug it in with the USB-C cable, which I think is better. I just like USB-C. Everyone does, right? It's just it's a bit easier to use, a bit more reliable. Doesn't really matter, but it's nice. Plug it in there, shows up on the computer, drag the files across. The files are all named and time-stamped, and you get all the individual recordings. Now, I'm sure you do on that one as well. The biggest reason, that's all pretty cosmetic, and there's pretty shallow reasons why you should get this one, right? The other reasons I like it is you can purchase the Bluetooth adapter for a little bit more money, $40, and then it will work with the phone. That is actually really useful because you've got exactly the same look on the app as you do on the device, and that means you can operate it from across the room. So that is actually a really useful thing to have. But more importantly, you have that float recording where you can't clip your recordings. I don't think the one you were looking at has that. And I think that is so valuable. I think there is one now, another one that has it. It might be a Zoom. I've forgotten. I saw it the other day. But this one has it with the latest firmware update on there. And I just think that's absolutely invaluable to me now. Because it just simply means, you know, you're out at a show, you're out at Guitar Center, and suddenly Tommy Emmanuel walks in and sits down to play, and you want to grab that recording. Because I saw a recording the other day of one of his shows. It actually wasn't him playing, it was someone else, but they got like 10 million views on this video. So it's all about speed, isn't it? With these field recorders, you want to grab that performance immediately. So you turn it on, you hit the M, and you throw it down in front of the person, and you're recording. And then if you go and stand back so people can watch the performance, you can then load up your phone and check the levels and make sure everything's working from a distance. I just think, to me, that's just worth the extra $200 right there. I wouldn't even consider getting the cheaper one, because I think what will happen is this will be something you'll use all the time, and then in 6 months you'll think, I wish I had that one, and you'll want to sell and get this one. So go straight in for this one. And honestly, now I'm realizing I didn't even need all my microphones and things. All I needed was this headset, because I don't get any background noise anymore, and this Porta Capture, because it works as an input device to record direct for pickup reviews and things like that. And it also works with the mics on top, and it records everything at the same time. I didn't need to buy all my mics. Now, I don't mind that because mics last forever and I can use them the rest of my life. But I didn't need any of that stuff. I could have just got one of these and this headset for a fraction of the price and had a lot more versatility. Because I can take this out with me on the road. I can use it at home. You can stick it on a stand and use it like a regular XY microphone. So I just can't sing the praises of this one highly enough. I absolutely love it. But I realize that it's twice the price. But to me, it's worth more than twice the value, or at least twice the value. So do seriously consider this Tascam X8 for the reasons that I mentioned. But I'm sure the other one sounds just as good. might even sound better, but I'm sure the other one is. I'm sure they're basically the same thing. Like one is more like an iPhone, the other one's like a landline. You know, they both achieve the same results. But I would definitely go for this one if it was my decision. And I'm incredibly happy with this piece of gear. I bought this, the adapter, and the memory card. Actually, I got it all from here. I got this adapter, and I got this memory card. So the whole thing, all in all, with tax, was just over $500. So not cheap, but it just does everything now that I need it to do. Using it every day. Use it for a song, practicing. Use it for videos. I would use it out when I go out to do a recording somewhere, a show or something. I use it at home. And yeah, and they've actually, it looks like they've sold out right now because that's just how good it is. Really, really great product. Let's see what the reviews say. Yep. I got this product as a field recorder at first, and now I've used it for multiple podcasts. There you go. That's what happened to me as well. This is packed of settings, and even at times it's easy to get sidetracked. I would love. Well, I don't agree with that. I don't use all the. I just use the settings that I use, and I go. Yeah, there are other settings like effects and things, but I don't use them. I would love if they allowed Bluetooth phone calls with the dongle. That would finish the product. Oh, I don't think that's really fair, but still got 4 stars. This one got 5 stars. They're not even mentioning that floating recording, which to me is just absolutely invaluable. Just imagine the fact that you can't clip your recordings anymore. Because when I went to the trade show a few months ago in New York, there was I took the clip-on microphone recorders, and they distorted. I had to do a lot of work to try and save that recording. It wouldn't have happened with this, which is really great. All right, so anyway, let us know in the future what you do end up getting, but I would definitely go for that. Ah, Canva. You know, Canva's great. Actually, this fireplace is from Canva as well. If you make videos or content and you don't use Canva, you should go and check out Canva right now. They do your graphics, they do your thumbnail. Well, you do them, but use the website. You make thumbnails, you make graphics, you make backgrounds. They have sound effects, they have videos, they have everything. You can remove the background. If you make content and you don't have Canva, you must subscribe to Canva. It's just the best thing for all that stuff. Absolutely invaluable. I was going to wear my Christmas sweater, but I thought it might be maybe next week. Be too hot. Well, thank you. That's just based on real world experience. That's, as you know, I've tried a lot of gear. I try a lot of gear. I get disappointed a lot with different products. I have all these different issues and problems, and it's one reason why I like the channel. I can talk about that on the channel. This thing has been great out of the box, and it's just made my life better. And to me, that's what a piece of gear should do. It should be easy to use, it should be reliable, and it should make your life better. And that's exactly what that's done. So that's probably like one of my products of the year for that reason. And I definitely think it's worth every cent. And I know you're working on a channel, Staley. You've got your channel now. So you want good audio. And I also know you like to go out and do videos away from home. So that would be absolutely amazing if you get that. I really think you should wait and get that one if you can. But that's just my opinion. Hi, Doc. What's up, Doc? Happy holidays. Jerry. Hi, Aaron from New Zealand. Welcome. What's the time over there? I'm playing my guitar outdoors this summer and looking at battery amps. Not many shops to try here. How do you think an S1 Pro would handle below 65 Hertz? Probably not very well because it's a small speaker. I think you should check out the Everse EV8. Very happy with mine, and it has that bigger speaker. If you want the physical controls and an extra input, so 3 inputs total, get the JBL Compact, Eon Compact. But I think the Bose will be too small of a speaker for you at 6.5 inches and not 8, or 6 inches or 6.5 and not 8 inches. So I think you should go for that one. I think you shouldn't go for that one. It would work okay. I've got a friend that plays bass guitar through his, but that's, you want my opinion. That's my opinion. The S1 Pro is currently on sale. Does that mean a new version is coming, or does that mean they're not going to sell them anymore? We don't know, but they are currently on sale at many places. It It does look, I think I'll just stay in this room the rest of the week because it does look cozy, doesn't it? I look a bit pale though. I might turn up my my temperature here. Let me see. That's off and that's on. Makes you a little bit drunk. That's fine. It's the holidays. Accessories, yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame that it doesn't. Look, I'm keeping mine in this old sock to keep it safe. It's a shame it doesn't come with a case. It's a shame it doesn't come with the Bluetooth built in because it's kind of funky. It kind of sticks out the bottom in a weird way, which is kind of odd. Look at that. I thought it was like wrong when I did it. You see the way it sticks out there? Bit odd, but it's fine. Hasn't caused any problems. And it's a shame it doesn't come with any built-in memory as well. So you want to get a fast and decent memory card. So yeah, all in all, this thing is just over 500, but I just think it's awesome. And the batteries are lasting long too. I also wish it was rechargeable. It's not. But the batteries, they're just regular, I think it's 4 AA batteries I got in here. I've been using it for weeks and it's been fine. Yeah, 4 AA. Of course, you could use rechargeable batteries. You can also power it from a USB cable or like a phone charger, which is fine. But they seems to have really good battery life as well, which is impressive considering the touchscreen it has. No, I just, it's not perfect, but nothing is. I would get this. I wouldn't look elsewhere myself. Very, very happy with that. It's nice and light too. So it's actually amazing, Pooh. It actually captures everything at once. So this one is so cool. Look, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 combo inputs. That means you could plug a guitar or a mic into here, a guitar or a mic into here, a guitar or a mic into here, and a guitar or a mic into here, and they'll all record at the same time, as well as the stereo mics will also record at the same time. If you select all those inputs to record, because you can choose if they record or they don't, if you select them all and then make a recording, when you plug it in with the USB-C cable, they all come up on your computer. And you can drag them all into your editor like Logic. And then you've got basically the 4, so you can have guitar, voice, bass, and voice on a separate track each straight in, plus the room sound you've recorded with the mics built in as well. And then you have your stereo mics, and just anything. It's just so flexible. Or you could just use it as a recorder like this. You could do an interview, look, because if I'm talking to this one, the other person is picked up by the other one. So you can do an interview like this. You can just record a band like this. You can take a line out from a mixer and plug it into the input. It's absolutely, it's just a lifesaver. It's amazing for what I do. I love it. So basically, yes, 6 recordings. And it also gives you the master file as well, the master recording of everything. Or I think it's either everything or just the 2 mics on top. So you end up with like a stereo master file of what you recorded. I think that's everything. And then you've also got the individual files as well. It's just so good. It's amazing. Charger cable, no. It doesn't come with anything. What you do is you just buy yourself a long USB-C to USB-C cable, and when you plug that into your computer, it will you transfer the files, and it will also power it. And then you want to buy like a adapter plug to add power as well. That'll be like your mains cable then. And then I would just keep 4 AA batteries in at all times, so it's always ready to go. I do wish it was a rechargeable battery in there. That would be even better. But I've had these batteries in since that Martin event. They're the same batteries, and I've been using that every day, and there's still. Let me see how much battery life is left on here. It's kind of crazy. And of course, when you're at home, you can just use the power from your computer anyway. Let me see what the battery life is left on. How much battery life is left? Yeah, it's at 50%. 50%. So I think that's great. I got no problem with that. And if you're using it all the time, just plug it in with USB-C cable instead. So, basically, what I showed you before I move on, what I showed you here. Look, this is what you want to get. You want to get the Border Capture X8. And you want to get the I don't think it comes with a cable. I might be mistaken. I might have just taken out the box and not taken the cable. So do confirm that before you buy a cable. But I would basically get this. Oh, is that what I saw? This is what I saw that also does the float recording. It's kind of odd. It looks like... Anyone seen this yet? It looks like a microphone. Mic track. This is the new one that I saw. This will do the floating recording as well that won't clip. See, 32-bit float, yeah. I don't know. Is that a touch screen? I don't know. It's more of like a mic format, I guess. So you hold it like a microphone. I think what I got is better for me, but I would check this out. And that also doesn't include the power supply either, so that's quite normal. But yeah, that's a new one from Zoom. I couldn't buy a recorder now. It doesn't have the floating recording. That's so amazing, so useful. So I would buy Staley. I would buy this, and I'd buy it now while it's still on sale. It says that the sale is going to end at the end of the year, so I would buy this right now while it's $399 and not $499. I would also add the Bluetooth adapter for $39 if you've got a smartphone. Worth saying, isn't it? If you've got a smartphone with Bluetooth, I presume you do. And I would also get this memory card. I got this memory card as well, the 256 gigabyte for $50. So I would get the Lexar memory card, the Bluetooth adapter, and the unit, and then just find something to keep it in, to keep it nice, because it's got that touchscreen on there. Get like a little case or something. I've been using a sock. I've been using a sock, but you can get I'm sure you can get a decent like case from Best Buy or somewhere, and then you're good. I think then for audio for your channel, you're good. And at the end of the day, like the iPhones now are so good for video. You can use a DSLR like I'm using today, but yeah, a DSLR on this thing, and you've got a YouTube channel now. It's awesome. And they're out of stock. They're out of stock at Sweetwater, but if you add it to cart and buy it, they will honor that price. And once they get more in, you'll get one at that price. So if you're going to buy it from Sweetwater, consider using my affiliate link in the description below. Doesn't cost you anything extra. And yeah, or try and find it somewhere where it is available for the same price. And like I said, if you end up getting one, do let us know what you think of it. But also, my disclaimer, that's my opinion. And another reason I'd like to see you get it from Sweetwater is you get the 4 weeks return policy. So you can get it, you can try it out for a month and make sure it works for you, because maybe for some reason you want to do something different to what I do. So just throw that in there. All right. Let's come back to the chat. Jim, how you doing? Nice show. Thank you. You haven't seen it yet. Stay says Sweetwater called. Oh, see, they're being productive, getting the orders in. They have 5 coming in and wanted to double check if I wanted to pre-order one. Yeah, I think you should. There you go with Brian. Is it problematic if you're outside as far as wind noise? So I haven't used that outside. I suppose you would want to put a... I don't like the phrase they use for the thing you put, I'll just call it a screen. I suppose you'd put a windscreen over the microphones if you're outside, but I haven't tried it outside in the wind. I presume it'd be just like any other microphone. Of course, the great thing with this is if you've got an existing microphone with a screen, you could just plug it in and use that instead of these microphones, or a lavalier or anything if you're talking, whatever. Very, very flexible. Honestly, I can't remember what was in the box. There may have even been some windshields in the box. I don't think there were. But I honestly can't remember. I think I don't know what else was in the box. I just grabbed it and used it as is. I've forgotten, so don't ask me that. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Canva is super nice. Yes, it is. I love Canva. Just search YouTube icon. You'll see my icon in various colors. Are you concerned then that someone else will have the same icon as you? Wow, really? Okay, let's go and check that out as well then. Because these things didn't come out that long ago, did they? Then someone's going to say to me, why are they selling them if you say they're so good? So let's go and figure out why they are selling them. Look at that. the original, the original generation, the OG. 499 da 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 da. This one's pretty cool. Look, this one comes with the rechargeable batteries, the memory card, but it's only 32 gigabyte. And how good are those batteries? So I don't know. I don't always like those bundle things. Where are the used ones that you're telling us about? Let's search by used. There we go. 7 used. I mean, really? Those used prices aren't even worth considering when it's only $25 more for a new one. This one, even that, I mean, to save $75 to get one that supposedly is mint. So, you could make here's the thing, right, with this kind of thing. You could make an offer on this and say, well, I'll give you $299. That might be worth it because you're going to save yourself $100. But if they say no and they want $325, I mean, personally, I know I tell people to buy used these days. I know it's the most sensible thing to do. But if it's something like this that I just know I'm going to use all the time and I'm saving $75. I know $75 is a lot of money, but I don't know. It's you got to make that decision, The other thing is you don't get to try it. You don't get to return it. So even though I'm saying this thing is amazing, I think for the extra $75, I think it's worth getting it from Sweetwater because you get to try it, you get to return it, and I don't think $75 is enough. Oh, it says it comes with a micro SD card as well. But what kind of micro SD? Why don't you tell us what kind of micro SD card it is? Is it a fast card? Is it a large card? Is it a small card? I don't know. That's a tough one. I might be tempted to message this seller and say, what is that card? What are the specifications of the card? Is there any issue with the unit? And would you accept $300? Maybe I mean, you tell me in the chat. Is that worth doing that? For me, if I lost this tonight and had to buy another one, I would buy a brand new one because I know I'm going to use it all the time. And also last week we were talking about business expenses. Of course, this is a business expense. I think if they wanted the 325 for that listing and the memory card wasn't something that I could use, it was like a very low capacity and low speed, I think I would definitely get the brand new one from Sweetwater. But if that's a really good memory card with this one and they would accept $299, I would at least consider getting this one. And Reverb are very good at backing you up if there's a problem with the product. But the only problem is you don't get to try it out for the 4 weeks like you do on here. So you tell me in the chat what you think of that, because I don't want to I don't want to just inflict my opinion here today. But the other ones I wouldn't even consider because they're too close to the price of a brand new one. Good looking out, but I think I'll work with Andy at Sweetwater. I'm in no real rush. Yeah. Well, the only thing is, make sure you get that price. It says the price will go up at the end of the year, and we're almost at the end of the year, so I would consider that. This is such a rabbit hole. Not really. I mean, all gear is a rabbit hole. And the thing, what you have to realize, well, what I've come to realize, shall I say, is that there's no, let's just say this, there's no perfect piece of gear. And if you go around looking for the problems with gear, you're never going to be happy. Because the thing is, I could tell you right now what the staple gear that I use is. Like, what do I use at my shows where I make money? What do I really need? If I just kept the gear that I really need to pay the bills, what would it be? And in every piece of that gear, there would be a negative. There is no positive in there's no 100% positive piece of gear. It doesn't exist. There's always something you can find with it. But what I ask myself is, what is the overall experience? Does it, is it easy to use? Does it give great results? And for me, that's what that X8 does. So why look elsewhere? And for me, why would I look elsewhere? Maybe there's something with a rechargeable battery built in, but then it doesn't have the float recording. Well, that's just simply not worth it to me, Yeah, and I wouldn't like to use batteries if it had terrible battery life, but I'm telling you, it has really good battery life, so that's not a problem. And then when you are at home, you can use the USB-C cable and plug it into the wall, so that's not a problem either. All right, yeah, let's move on from that. But I haven't done a formal review of this on the channel, but I'm very, 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 very happy with it. I think it's excellent for what it is. And it's one of those things that just came out of nowhere and surprised me. When I saw a video, someone saying it had this float recording that wouldn't clip, I was like, really? That sounds like, what's the word? What's the word they use on all these videos? Game changing. That sounds like a game changer. Wow, what a game changer that is. I hate that phrase, but it really is. Like when something that's so exciting. People talk about, oh, so and so has a new firmware update. It doesn't. It sounds the same. And people talk about, oh, this new guitar is so much better. No, it's not. It's the same as the one you could get last year. But a product that will let you do recording that doesn't clip, or at least is very, very hard to clip, so your files are always usable. To me, that's incredible. I can't believe more people aren't talking about it, because to me, that's just like, I remember in the past setting the level just right. It was too low, it was too high, and then someone plays really loud and it clips. It's amazing that it's almost like it's plug and play. You just hit record, and as long as the level is 50% or whatever, it's going to be really good. I think that's amazing. I can't believe more people don't talk about that stuff. So anyway, let's have another question. Let's have something else. Let's have a change of topic, because that's a lot about audio recorders. So while you're doing that, I put on the community section earlier, I think I'm going to do a new format next year. I'm trying to think what to do for 2023, because I definitely want to do more YouTube. At the start of this year, I kind of backed off a little bit. I just did the live streams. And lately, I don't know if you've seen, I've been posting the YouTube shorts. They're quite fun, so I'm going to do more of those. They're really easy to do. And also, if you do YouTube, if you're starting a channel, if you've got a channel, try those YouTube shorts. They're really cool, because you can just record them with your phone, or you can record them with Ecamm Live like I've been doing. And it's really quick to do them, and you're just giving that question or that information in 60 seconds or less. And it's just so nice. It's so much easier than making an edited video. So I'm going to do as many of those as I can, basically. And then I'm going to keep the Monday for Q&A, as we've been doing. And then I think on Fridays, rather than cover news and rumors that I've heard on Monday, so everything is kind of mashed together, I think I'm going to keep Mondays just for quick Q&A and Hangout. And then Friday, I'm going to do a pre-recorded video in the morning of like the week's news. Because I've also heard of loads of products that are coming out. There's loads of new gear coming next year, and I think it'd be really interesting, because 2023, I can see lots of budget gear coming out. I can't see a lot of real expensive things coming next year, simply because stuff isn't really selling right now, it looks like. Stuff isn't selling like it was. The used market is quite stagnant. I think next year we'll see a lot more budget options coming out. But I've also heard of lots of gear, and I've also heard people saying there's lots of gear coming as well. So I think it'll be totally worth me just doing on Friday morning a news and rumors video. So that's my plan. Friday around noon to post a video with just not live, like recorded, just the news from that week and my thoughts on that gear. Because there's often pieces of gear come out and I think to myself, oh, I'd love to review that, but that's just not viable for me to do that. But I can give my thoughts. I can show the pictures. I can show the specs. I can tell you what I think of it. Is that something that's worth checking out or not? And I think a lot can be done from specs anyway, and photographs and YouTube videos from other people. A lot of the stuff can be discussed just from that. So that's what I'm going to do on Fridays, and then I'll keep Mondays streamlined and only do the Hangout and the Q&A on Mondays. they might spill over a little bit into that, but I don't know. There's already been, for next year, we're looking at the PRS DGT, which is a really exciting guitar, SE, which is a really exciting guitar, much like the Silver Sky SE was this time last year, same thing. And I've also heard there's lots of other PRS products coming out in January, like loads of stuff. So there's that. There's an updated Tone Dexter. The Tone Dexter has had a revamp. It's going to be called the Tone Dexter 2. That's coming at the start of the year. That looks really exciting as well. What else? I'm sure there'll be new guitars from Martin. I'm sure there'll be lots of new guitars from Fender. There's loads of blowouts right now on the Acoustasonic guitars. Will there be a new Acoustasonic? Maybe. I don't know. I've heard of some new acoustic guitar pickups that are coming out that I definitely want to check out and talk about, of course. I've heard about some new guitars coming out. Just basically, this year blew me away because every week there's something new coming out. Every single week this year there was a new product or a new firmware update. So I'm thinking, well, next year there's going to be as much or more. So there's lots to talk about with that stuff. And yeah, like I said, it's much easier as well than doing the review. I can't always do the review, but I can always give my thoughts on the stuff. So that's cool. Here we go. How do I make sure your affiliate link for Sweetwater is credited? Is there an ID at the top that is associated with you? I'm working through the link, FYI. Let me just tell you all how this works then, and not because I want you to use my links. I mean, of course, I really appreciate people using my affiliate links because that will help me pay for my time and my equipment that I use, okay? I know some people can be a bit funny about that stuff. I don't know why. I mean, when you're doing YouTube, if you do YouTube as well, you realize that it costs money and time to do it, even though we love doing it, right? We love it. And there's different ways to make money on YouTube. But the affiliate link has been a big thing for people. So let me just give you a quick overview of how this works, because you're probably wondering anyway. So you can sign up if you have a YouTube channel. You can sign up for, say, Amazon, and that's great. With Amazon, you have to sign up for every country, which I tried, but I didn't get enough traffic from the other countries, so they shut them down. So now I just have the United States. So basically, if you're going to shop on Amazon, you just click my link to take you into the browser, and anything you buy there, I'll get like a small percentage of what you spend at no cost to you. All right, so that's really easy. Same with Reverb. With Reverb, it's only 1%. But that's fine, and most sales are done on Reverb, right? When you're buying a guitar on Reverb, you don't call the person up and buy it off Reverb. You always buy it through Reverb. So I would always get that 1%, even though it's just 1%. Sweetwater is a bit more difficult. You would think it's really awesome, and it is. But here's the thing. I'll give you two scenarios. Like if you were going to buy a $1,000 Fender, and you said to me, I want to use your link, I would say to you, well, hang on. If you call your representative there, if you call your sales engineer, they're probably going to give you 10% off. So don't use my link. You can't use my link and go through your engineer. You have to do one or the other. So at that point, I would say to you, don't use my link, call up and get the discount. But because on the Tascam, it's already discounted, they will not give you another discount. So that's why I'm saying, go down to the links in my description, click on the link where it says Sweetwater Affiliate. It'll launch the browser. Then if you add that and the other stuff to your cart and check out and pre-order, whatever, checkout or pre-order, I will then get the percentage of that sale, right? I don't know if your sales engineer still does or not. I don't know how that works. I think they still do, but I'm not completely sure. I'm just guessing. But that's basically what I want to say. Like if you're going to buy something that isn't discounted and you know if you call up your sales engineer, they'll give you a discount, then call up the sales engineer and get the discount. But if you're buying something like strings or something where it says there's already a discount applied, they're not going to give you another discount. So at that point, if you want to click my link and just order it yourself through the website without calling your sales engineer, that will help me out and I'll appreciate it. And I've not heard of anyone like being upset about that or anything. So like when I've used other people's links and bought stuff, my personal sales engineer hasn't said anything, or there's been no problem with that. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. I'd like to find out at some point. But you know, since I just gave you a 20-minute testimonial on mine, and then I guess I've done the job of. I guess I essentially am doing the job of a sales engineer, right? In a way. So I'm like a third-party sales engineer. But yeah, if you wanna click my link in the description below to Sweetwater, and then it will take you to the browser. And then if you add the things and check out, I will get that affiliate. But like I said, if it's something the way if you call your sales engineer, you'll get a discount, then please call your sales engineer and get the discount. Definitely. That's how that stuff works. When you're working on a song, you can use YouTube Shorts as a tool to see here what to work on, delete it later. Yeah, you could do. Or I'm not quite sure what you mean, Jim. Couldn't you just, maybe I'm confused, but couldn't you just record yourself with the phone and save it on your phone for your, are you talking about showing people? Yeah, that's a good point. I like the YouTube Shorts because it doesn't seem to bug people. Like when I posted my shorts this week, I did my favorite pick. I don't know if you, let me know if you saw the short this week. I did, what's your favorite pick, right? I didn't seem to push it out to the subscribers, so it's not like I'm bugging them. If I do 3 shorts a day, it's not like it will constantly bombard you with Aaron Short's got another video, and I think that could be annoying. What it seems to do is push them out to people that are not subscribed. So I got quite a lot of subscribers from that video. It seemed to push out that video to non-subscribers, which for me is better because I've probably told the regulars here what pick I use in a past video. You might not even want to know about that. But the way I see shorts is they're like little ads. They're like little ads for the channel. So if I think of a really cool little tip, or the other thing is I could do my main review on the channel and also do like a 60-second version, or an even like a trailer. Like, hey, I just did a review for the Martin D28 on my channel. Come and check it out on my channel. This is what it sounds like. Da 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 da. It's like a little advert, a little commercial for your channel. And YouTube seemed to push them out to people that are not subscribed. Therefore, you get more eyes coming to the channel. So I think that's really cool. And my only regret is that I didn't start sooner. I wish I'd started shorts sooner, because if I'd done it from the beginning, there would have been less. This is the story of my life. I always tell this to people. I did this with MySpace. I did this with YouTube. I did this with TikTok, and now I'm doing it with shorts. I started too late. I should have started posting them from day one. And I bet I would have got probably 100,000 views on those videos by now, or more. It's very easy to get some good views on those shorts. So definitely use those. Definitely use those. I think it's very important to do the 60-second shorts, the 6-minute recorded edited videos, and the 60-minute live streams. I think you should do all 3. And I think that's what I'd like to do. The next time I have something to review and I want to do a real in-depth review of that product, I think what I'm going to try is I'll do the 6-minute video like I always do. And then I'll make the 60-second short with a very quick demo and telling people to come to watch it on the channel, that 6-minute video. And I'll also do the live stream about it as well, which will be a 60-minute or more version. That way, what you're giving people is the 60-second version if they just want the raw information, the 6-minute version if they want to sit down and actually learn about the product and your opinion, and the 60-minute version, like sometimes I'll just sit down after a show and put my AirPods in and just listen to a podcast. I love doing that. I do that all the time. I just listen to it like a podcast. So that's what I'll do. That's the way you can get 3 videos out of 1 topic, which is also really cool. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to try next year as well, going forward. I'm making my resolutions, everybody. Just got to stick to them this year. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I hope that made sense, Staley, and thank you for your support. I'm going to have another affiliate this week as well. I'm going to do the video on the insurance for musicians, and that's going to be affiliate. So basically in the description below here, I'm going to have all my affiliate links. I'm going to have Amazon, Reverb, Thomann, Sweetwater, and this liability insurance. So I'm going to have a little collection of links. So if you're in the USA, Sweetwater. If you're in Europe or USA, Thomann. Well, actually, I think anywhere, Thomann. If you're anywhere, Reverb. If you're in America, then this liability insurance. If you're a performer, if you need the liability insurance. And there's one more that I forgot about. But yeah, it's a shame they're not worldwide. That would be amazing if they were. Mark says, that background looks like you're really there. Technology is amazing, isn't it? Just wait till we have VR. Have you seen all the deep fake videos with Simon Cowell and these people? So think about this, like in 10 years' time, you'll be able to have someone else's face, or I'll be able to like fix my face, like rather than have to like shower and wash my face before I go live like this. I'll literally be able to sit down without doing any of that, and the computer will just put a graphic over, just like smooth out the lines and change the color of my hair, and you basically just have like this thing over your face, but it'll be you, or it could be somebody else. You could be someone else. That stuff is getting so realistic. And then we'll have VR, so you can actually put on a headset and you'll be in the room with them, or any room that they choose, and they'll look however they want to look, and they'll be giving a presentation to you in VR. I think the problem is we're very quickly going to go from YouTube to this whole new world. I can see that coming really quickly. So I wonder what will happen with YouTube eventually. Because you can even now type a script into YouTube and have a character that looks like a real person read the script. And then the great thing about that is you can translate it into every language. Because when you do videos when you only speak English like me, and you do videos in English, you can't reach the whole world because a lot of people don't know what you're saying. But with these new avatar things that look exactly like a real person, I'm not talking about cartoons, I'm talking about like this, they look like this, right? Then they can also convert that video into any language. So then your videos are global. I think I see, I see things changing very quickly with technology. Look where we are today compared to 10 years ago. Like this was not a thing 10 years ago, right? 4K, multi-platform video streaming, backgrounds, high quality audio and video and animations. This was not a thing. And I think it's going to go really fast into a whole new thing. We'll see. So I'll enjoy my YouTube while I can. Charlie, how you doing? Good to see you. Makes sense. Time for someone else's question. Oh, we might not have any more questions. Do we have any more questions? Let me know. I just want to clear something up from last week. Last week I said I'd do a giveaway, and I'm not going to do it anymore, and I'll tell you why, because someone might ask why. The pedal that I sat down here on Saturday to review this pedal. My plan was to make the review and demo the pedal, and then at the end to say thank you for watching, goodbye, and then at the end put in and now here's a giveaway. And then once the giveaway was done, I had the option of cutting that out because obviously it's not relevant anymore. But the thing is, I sat and reviewed this pedal, and it's the I can't think what it's called now. The Sonic Wood acoustic pedal. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Excellent build quality, excellent effects, like everything about it. I'm like, this is great. I can't believe how good this thing is. I thought I'd be a bit lukewarm on it, but I loved it. But the problem is there's this weird noise, like a robotic noise when you play the notes and you have the preamp or the chorus turned on. There's this weird robotic noise. So I don't think for a second that's normal. I think they sent me one with a problem, right? But I just thought to myself, do I post this video and do I do the giveaway? So initially I was going to post it and do the giveaway. Then I thought about it and I was like, well, why would I give something away that I'm saying is potentially very good, but the one that I have is not? That just seems a bit off to me. And then also with the video, do I really want to post that? And then they want to send me another one and do another updated review. So I don't know. That went a bit sour on me, that idea. So I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do anything on the channel that I'm not comfortable doing. But I'm also not going to not tell you guys stuff either. So I'm telling you that pedal is excellent, but the one that I had has a problem. And yes, I could just order another one from Amazon myself and try it out and ask, I don't know. There's many ways I could do that. I don't really want to go through all that because I spent many hours on that video. Also, of course, going forward, I should not do that. I should try the pedal before I film the video is probably a better idea as well. But I have told the company about it, and I'm going to wait to see. Wait to see what they say. If they say, look, that's not normal, we're going to send you another one, and if that works fine, can you do the giveaway? I think I will. Because at that point, if you get one in the giveaway and you tell me that there's something weird about it, I can then say to you, well, there's not anything weird with mine, so ask them to replace it, right? But if I have a problem with mine and you win one and then you say mine's got, I don't know, it gets really messy. So I apologize for that. I probably shouldn't have said that last week. But I should have planned to do it and then just made it a surprise. I shouldn't really say what I'm thinking of doing, but I also want to be transparent and just say, it doesn't seem the right thing to me to do a giveaway. I mean, giveaways are kind of tricky anyway. Like I said last week, someone's going to lose, someone's going to win. Did the person that enter really want to win it? There's many things to talk about with giveaways, but if I do have a giveaway on here, and it is sponsored like that, which is really nice, I really appreciate them doing that. But I think it has to be something where I'm like, yeah, this is really good, this is really solid. I recommend this, and I'm going to do this giveaway with the company. I don't think I want to do a giveaway with something that I'm not. I don't want to say 100% sure of, because like I said earlier, there is no piece of gear that's perfect, but there's a difference between saying this pedal is excellent, but the reverb is not as amazing as it could be, and saying this pedal has a weird noise when you play it. So I didn't hear that in anyone else's video. I didn't see anyone else say that in their review. So I think I just got a bad one, but I am not going to recommend or do giveaways of pedals that have a problem. So that's where I'm at with that. If they send out another one, if we figure something out to make that worth me doing another video on that, and they want us to do the giveaway still, then you'll see that video come up. But if you don't see the video come up, then either I didn't get one to try again, or I just didn't have the time to do it. And if you ever try one, let me know in the chat if yours worked fine. But again, I apologize for that, but that's yeah, that's just how it is. I think it's probably something that I'll steer clear of next year. I'm thinking next year I'm going to focus on the hangout on Mondays. I think these are great because we just talk off the cuff about stuff and what we like and what we don't, what our experiences are. And the Mondays for the news and rumors, and just talk about what's coming out and should we be interested in it or not. And then the reviews of stuff that I actually like. Like I would much rather make a review of this because I love this, right? Even though I paid for it, it's not a sponsored video, I'm not giving one away. I'd rather review this thing and say, hey, musicians and content creators, you need to check this out. And this is the reason why. Because I want to talk about it. And even then I might say, yeah, it's a shame the batteries are not rechargeable. But that's just something they could improve in a future version. That's not a deal breaker. If I recorded with this and it made a weird noise in the background, for me, that's a deal breaker. I couldn't recommend that to anybody. I just couldn't. Like, why would I want to recommend something like that? So I hope you agree with that. I hope you agree with that, but that's just the way that I want to run the channel. I don't want to do things that I'm not comfortable with. So yeah, I've had no comments today or in the chat about what you're getting. I guess you don't know what you're getting for Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, I guess you don't know what Santa's going to bring. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Maybe next week we'll get some surprises, some nice guitars and pedals, or maybe we'll get nothing. Maybe we're not going to get gear anymore. Oh, cool. Isaac, how you doing? Have you ever reviewed or spoken in detail about the headset mic you've been using? I don't see it listed in the equipment that I use to make videos list. I'm curious about it. Awesome. Now look, thank you for that comment, because you're helping me out here. I totally forgot to put that in the equipment that I use list. And I need to make sure I keep that list up to date at all times, because I want to, again, be transparent and let people know what I recommend at the time. So thank you for reminding me. I will add that tonight or tomorrow into that list. I think the reason I haven't added it there, Isaac, is because it kind of came out of nowhere. I don't even know why I did it. I don't know what I was thinking. So basically, when I started streaming, if you look back at my old videos where the video's really washed out, back in the day when I started the channel. I used this Rode here. See if I can bring it into shot without breaking everything. I used to use this, right? You've seen this. Look at that, some lint on there. And that's a windscreen, by the way, what I was talking about earlier. I can't get it off. Oh, there we go. So I used to use one of these. Now, these are great. A lot of YouTubers use this. This is great because you're going to get that sound. This is a condenser, and you're going to get that direct sound. What's the problem with this thing? It blocks the face, right? I mean, that could be a good thing. I don't know. But it depends how you feel. You can have it off to the side here. You can have it slightly out of view. If you have it out of view too far, you're going to pick up a lot of background noise. So if you have something like this, and the dynamic would be even better, right next to your mouth, you're going to get really good, warm, fat sound. So I used to use this for that reason. Then when we locked down, and I did YouTube all the time, every day, I decided to get a shotgun mic because I thought a shotgun mic would directionally pick up my voice and be off the screen. So it used to be above my head on a mic stand. The problem with that is, despite the name shotgun mic, it doesn't just pick up the sound from directly in front of it like a shotgun. It actually picks up the sound from all around it as well. So it works really well. It sounds really good. And that's what I've been using until I got this one. But it was also picking up like the airplane. When I had the airplanes flying overhead, that you could just hear it in the microphone, even though I've got a noise gate. I'm still using a noise gate with this, by the way. But even though I had the noise gate on, I could still hear, and you could still hear, the airplanes flying and the heater coming on and everything. So still wasn't ideal for me. But it is cool the way you don't see it and you just wear in-ears and you don't see anything. I think that's really valuable. For some videos, I'll still use that. But this thing is great. And the reason this thing is great is that it's a dynamic microphone. It's right in front of the mouth. And there's this cable here, which actually sends the headphone and the XLR to your interface. So that's going out of one cable, which is really nice. The sound quality is excellent of the headphones. They're very comfortable. The headphones themselves could be a bit louder. I don't know why that is. With my interface, I think my interface has quite a weak headphone amp. I would like to have a few dB more volume at times, but again, not a deal breaker. The microphone, as you can hear, is very good. It's a dynamic mic, not a condenser. Very noise free. I could EQ it better than it's EQ'd right now, and I will do that at some point. But I think the audio is good, and there's no background noise. I do still have the noise gate, mostly for breaths. So when I'm not talking and I'm breathing, you don't hear that. If that was off, you'd still hear some background hiss and some mouth noises and things. So I really like that. And to be honest with you, it's just so convenient now. Like now I can just sit down at any time of the day, put this on and make a video. For me, making videos is all about getting rid of obstacles. So if you've got a nice house in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a farm, and there's no noise, and you've got a dynamic shotgun mic set up, and you can make a video at 2 a.m., that's amazing. But if you're in an apartment like me, and it's noisy outside, and your neighbors have got TVs and things, this is great because this gives you that sound. The other reason I love this is that if I move around, the sound doesn't change, right? Wherever I go, the sound is exactly the same because the mic is the same. When you have the shotgun mic, if you move back, the whole sound changes. So what you bring up is a great point. And again, if you're starting a YouTube channel, this is now my recommendation. Rather than the expensive condenser mics on a mic stand for your acoustic guitar, the shotgun mics for your voice, and the guitar amp mics for you, I would just get one of these for all of your field recording using these mics because they're really good. And this can also be used for direct inputs as well, which you then sync up to your video later on. And then the headset for your talking. It doesn't look as good. It looks a little bit goofy maybe. Then again, I noticed lately that a lot of YouTubers are wearing headsets or wearing big headphones anyway. So what does it really matter? And the convenience is just excellent. And then you can use them for everything else as well. So I will definitely add it to the list, and I definitely recommend it. Oh, I see I got a super chat, but my graphic is off. I just turned it on. Darn it. So it didn't pop up on the screen. But thank you, Bernard. Appreciate it. Happy Christmas. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and experience with us. I appreciate everyone being here. It's great now. We have a lot of viewers every week. And the thing about me is I come to realize that, yes, I do use this stuff as a live performer. And I think that's really cool that I can actually give you that experience that I've used it at gigs. But I've also tried a load of gear as well. So if you want to ask me about something, I may as well give you the experience that I've had. And I'm still learning and everything else. But like this experience here, it's amazing, isn't it? If 2 years ago you said to me, what should I use to make a YouTube channel? I would have said to you, the shotgun mic, which is about $1,000 for a really good one. And then you've got to get a really sturdy stand. You've got to get a good microphone cable. I would have said some really good mics for your acoustic guitar to record them, like the little $500 ones. But what would they say today? I wouldn't say any of that. I would say the headset, because you've got your headphones and your vocal mic here and your handheld recorder. You don't need any of that other stuff. And this is actually better because you don't get background noise in your voice and you can take this everywhere you go. So you can take this to a guitar store next week and make some recordings at the guitar store and save yourself some money that way as well. So you're right. Thank you for that, Isaac. I definitely have to update the list. I'll do that tomorrow. Jim said, my Christmas came early last month, getting my Fairbanks F20 NL. Congrats, Jim. But don't you have to get Santa to bring another guitar to come down the chimney on Sunday? I'm just teasing. Of course not. Brad, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. I saw you singing the other night. Sounded great as always. Curtis, how you doing? Any thoughts on moving from traditional analog gear to just a laptop? Lots of people are making the jump. You know, I don't know if it's my age. Is it my age that the whole thing about analog versus digital? I just don't know. I keep going back and forth all the time. You know, I think that the healthiest way to think about gear these days is to think like this. What do I need, first of all? Like, if you only ever play with in-ear monitors, then don't buy a guitar amp, buy a Kemper, okay, something like that. Use the digital, because there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't, because that is so good now. If you're in a band that asks you to bring an amplifier, then get a real amp, then make a little pedal board, right? That's pretty obvious, I know. It really depends on what your application is. It's like with me doing this live stream. So I'm running a noise gate and I'm running a plugin for that. I'm not running a physical noise gate because I haven't got space here for a physical noise gate. And I don't really care about noise gates enough to have a physical $1,000 noise gate, right? For me, a noise gate is a noise gate. But for me as a guitar player, a tube amp is different. That's more important to me. But there's also times when I need to use one. But if I want to play guitar for you now on the live stream, I wouldn't use one. I'd plug straight into the Kemper or the interface and just play over the stream, for the reason I mentioned earlier. So it's really tough. I think you gotta be into both. I think anyone that says that digital is better than analog and analog is old school and not worthy anymore, I don't agree with that. And I think people that say you should only play real amps and real mics and not use plugins because they sound fake, I don't agree with that either. I think you have to use both, and you have to buy what matches your situation. Like I said, there are venues here that ask you to bring an amp. So what would you do if you had a Helix? You'd have to take a Helix and a PA speaker. Well, at that point, why not just take an amp, right? But if you play in a church or something where you use in-ears all the time and they don't want physical amps on stage. In fact, a lot of venues now, they say they don't want physical amps on stage. Then why own an amplifier, right? And then some people are lucky. They can play their amps at home because they've got no neighbors. But then they can take a Kemper with the profiles of those amps to their gigs because the gig doesn't want an amp on stage. For me, everything I play at, they want me to have an amp. But then when I live stream, I can't use an amp on the live stream. So I kind of have to have both. And I think, people my age, I think, are very much stuck in the thing of like, oh, I should go all digital, I should go all analog because we think it's one or the other. But I think people that are starting out now that are younger are probably going to go digital. I think most of them are going to play in environments where they do wear in-ears, record with their computer. I think, on the other hand, I see a lot of people out here using amps all the time still. Amps haven't gone away. I don't know. I just think there's a million ways to cook an egg these days. But I certainly use both. I love the Apollo Twin and the plugins for it when I do the recording and the live streams. But I also love playing through a PA system at a venue with an analog pickup and an analog pedal. You know, I love that too. I don't know. It's tough. And the only danger is you end up buying everything twice. So you end up with a real guitar amp and the simulation of it. That can be the danger of it. Because there's, like I said, there's so many ways of doing everything. But I guess that is a good approach as well, to have the real thing and the digital version. I guess that's also, if you can justify it, it's a good thing to have. So yes, I mean, it's funny, like certainly for recordings, I've got no problem doing a recording in Logic and using all plugins. I've got no problem with that at all. Never once would I even consider buying a rack of real effects to use in a recording. I would just go straight for the plugins. EQ, reverb, compression. I wouldn't even consider using a real rack of analog effects in a recording. And yet, when I go out to play, I really don't want to go through digital if I can use analog. Why? It's so bizarre. Maybe that's because I am monitoring that recording with the headphones, with the studio monitors. Whereas at the gig, if you've got sound on stage, you want that to be the richest sound you can possibly have, and that often is associated with a real amp instead of some kind of PA speaker behind you. I don't know. Some people would disagree with that completely as well. Do a YouTube search, Reina del Cid, Harvest Moon, to see a Zoom H6 in action. Very talented. Yeah, I'm sure. I said earlier, the Zoom stuff is amazing value for money. It's incredible. But I could not live without that float recording anymore. maybe that's because I suck at setting gain levels, but I just couldn't live without it anymore. Rafa. How can amps work at talking volume and through a room when there isn't a proper stage? That's why I use PA speakers only. I mean, you know, a traditional guitar amp is very directional, but I've never had a traditional guitar amp that didn't have like a low volume setting. I mean, there are amps where they're kind of like off and then on, and a bit too loud for an apartment, but not for me for a gig. And although they're very directional, yeah, you can put them on a stand and point them. You know, I wouldn't put them on the floor, kind of thing. But I don't know. A lot of it depends on the venue, doesn't it? Most of this stuff depends on the venue, how many people are there, the size of it, how high the ceiling is, what kind of levels they're expecting. I know in the UK they have like these volume meters and things that turn off the sound. I don't know. It's tough, and I'm not against the PA speaker either for that reason you're saying. It'll give you more dispersion. It'll give you more of a hi-fi sound. It'll also give you the ability to play acoustic through it and even use it as a vocal monitor. I'm not against it. It's just the very physics of a guitar speaker, the way that it is very mid-focused. It just seems to have more kind of it's just more meat to it. You know, it's just got more. I know it's hard to explain. That's why people talk about the feel of this stuff. But ultimately, I'm not against it. I would love to go all digital because it is easier. Now, there's one caveat to that. Some people go all digital, but they have a huge PA speaker behind them and a huge pedal board like a Helix that weighs 20 pounds, and they add other stuff to it. And at that point, I'm like, why don't you just use analog? But yes, if you can use like a Quad Cortex, which is this big, and just plug that thing straight into PA and where in is, yes, then you're saving a load of weight, a load of money. That is totally worth it, I think. But I think if you're going to take a Helix with a bunch of other pedals and a 2x12 power cab, at that point, I would just take a decent 1x12 combo amp and a small board. But that's just me again. I don't need that many effects, as I'm mostly an acoustic player, and when I play electric, I just want a few tones because I sing as well. So I don't know. It's we almost should stop discussing this thing about guitar amps and modelers, because it's just, there's never going to be an answer. There's never an answer. You know, for some people, a real amp does not work. For some people, they love the sound of a real amp. But then what do you plug? What is the gig? Are they going to mic it up? Are they going to tell you to turn it down? There's so many things that are personal to the player. Like I said, for me, I have not played a venue yet, but they've asked me to go direct. So it makes a lot of sense for me to have an amp, right? Ideally for me, I'd have an amp that has a really good line out with IRs on it as well, and then just run some pedals into it. Because I don't need many pedals, and I need that sound on stage. But the minute that venues start saying to me, no more amps, we're going to go straight into the PA, then I'm not going to haul an amp around with me. That's £30 I don't need to carry, or even £20 I don't need to carry. At that point, I will just take a Kemper Stage or similar, put it on the ground, give them the XLR cable, plug it straight in, and wear in-ears or use the monitors. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Rafa's digital, but he says that he loves the sound of an amp still. Carla, how you doing? Yeah, I got chestnuts roasting by an open fire. I should go live Christmas Eve, really, shouldn't I, with this fireplace? Perhaps I'll do that. I hear you can go live on Instagram now. They're starting to roll it out to people. So you'll be able to go live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube soon, which is kind of cool. Graham says, I've seen a lot of folks using the headrush speakers for electric guitar modelers. They seem great value cost-wise. Do you think that would be useful as a PA speaker for solo acoustic? Yeah, definitely. I think, I don't want to sound like too much of a snob. I think people like them because they're so cheap. They're incredibly cheap, incredibly good value for the money. And what you see when you do these YouTube videos is that is the gear that people want. And I totally understand it, because even aside from budget concerns, you might not want to take expensive gear to a bar gig or something, right? So I totally get it. Having said that, I haven't tried them, so I'm not going to have an opinion on them. They might sound absolutely great. I don't know. But they would certainly, that's the great thing with a PA speaker, they would certainly work either for your electric guitar modeler, or for your acoustic, or for your piano, or for your vocals. The problem with the guitar amp is, and I'm really big on having backups for gigs. Let's say you go to the gig and your PA goes down, you can't really plug your mixer into the guitar combo amp and do the gig. You can, but it won't sound that great. If your FRFR behind you for your electric guitar is something like a Kemper Cab or a Power Cab or a 12-inch big 2,000 watt PA speaker, at least you could throw that on the table, run the mixer into it, and get through the gig. So that's the thing. Like most analog stuff, a real analog guitar amp is not versatile at all. It's just a big lump of very good tone. It does one thing very well. The same way that your old phone at your house, your landline, used to make calls very well, right? But now your iPhone does calls just fine, arguably some calls better, and does everything else. That's the difference between a tube amp and a digital product. And that's why I believe eventually we will be playing digital products, because they'll get smaller and smaller. They'll get, I don't want to say cheaper and cheaper, but they'll get smaller and smaller. They'll sound better and better. They'll get more and more features that want you, they kind of force you to use them, because it's like, well, this is my tuner, this is my looper, this is my mixer, this is everything. This also does effects on my voice. It tunes my voice. It allows me to do different tunings on my guitar. At that point, how can you justify taking a guitar amp that just has one amazing or two amazing sounds rather than that digital thing? But I don't think we're there yet. That's the problem. And if you don't sing, if you only play guitar, you only use one tone, why would you care about the other stuff anyway? You would just want to have the best tone possible, and that's why you take your amp. You know, if you only use one tone with no pedals, don't buy a Helix, buy an amp, right? Especially if you play like a blues club where they don't even, they mic up your cab. That's it. They mic up your cab. You have one sound, then you're golden, right? You're good to go. But if you are asked to plug straight in, if you have to use multiple different sounds, if you like using different sounds, then consider a modeling unit. And if you've got money, get both. But I don't think you'll use both. I think you'll end up gravitating towards one of them, which is funny. But that's one thing I always think about. When I think about taking a real amp to a gig, my thought is always, what if I want to switch to my acoustic? I can't really run it through the electric amp. It's not going to be full range. That's why it's cool to have a PA style speaker, full range speaker, because then you can run your acoustic through it as well. Volume is huge, and if someone is on a mixer, it's easier to adjust volume direct than with an amp. Yes, it's also easier for them to turn you down as well. I'm pretty sure the Headrush FR is the same as the Alto. I think it is too. Yeah, they've been discontinued. A lot of the Headrush stuff is discontinued, but I've heard that it's not going away. I think next year we might get some new Headrush products. David, what's up? For some reason, I can't comment on my iPad. I've played places that require direct. I'm only talking from my experience, and I know that people always tell me, and all those Facebook groups now, they're saying things like, well, we can't use amps anymore anyway. All I can say is that where I am, I have never, and I should be knocking on wood right now, because this is going to change, I bet. I've never been asked to only go direct. I've always been asked to bring an amp. Even if they mention in-ears, they still want an amp on stage. So I'm only talking from my experience. Do I think that's better? Not necessarily. If I was running the sound myself, I think I'd like to try going all in-ears. I'd like to run a band at some point soon that has electronic drums, Kempers, HX stomps, and digital mixers and in-ears. I think that would be really cool. And then put your money and weight into the PA system for the front of house. I think that would probably be the way I'd want to go. But all the things I've done the last couple of years, they've said to me, bring a guitar amp. So there you go. I don't know. Then when I sit down to do my recording on my live streams, I can't use the guitar amp because it'd be way too loud in here. Then I use digital. So for me, I need both, really. And what I'd like to see next year is more tube amps that are lightweight and have the IR loaders built in. That way you can either grab it and run to a show and play with the amp and get great tone, or at home you can turn off the amp and just send that tube sound with the emulation directly to your interface. That would be a nice compromise as well. But then you still need a pedal board. That's why I believe the future is products like the Quad Cortex. Very small, very easy to use, lots of foot switches to use at the gig. But that also relies on them giving us software updates, which they don't seem to be doing at any great rate at the moment. Oh, yes, rant over. But yeah, there's no answer. That's like a 3-hour video right there about analog versus digital. There is no answer. It's very, very much down to what is your requirement. It's not as easy as like a camera, right? Most photographers don't use analog cameras now. They went digital because it is easier. It's a lot cheaper on film. It's a lot quicker to develop and see the images. There's very few photographers now that use the old cameras with film in them. They've all gone digital. But for guitar, it's not that clear cut because it still does sound really good. And when you consider that some rigs weigh the same or more and they're digital, what's the point? That's what I've always thought. What is the point of that? I saw one today on a Facebook group. He said he runs a power... I shouldn't laugh, but, you know, and if this works for you, it's great. But he said, I run a power amp, this big power amp, into a 4x12 cabinet and then a Helix with some other pedals. And I'm just thinking to myself, that is not... Like, what is that really doing? Now, it's giving you versatility, and it's going to be lighter than a real 4x12 and a real tube amp, power head, whatever. It's going to be lighter, and it's going to be much more versatile. I agree with that, and you haven't got to bother with microphones or anything, so there are benefits there. But for me, and I'm thinking about my application, I am not going to take that because all I need is a 1x12 combo amp and a few pedals. So, you know, it really depends on what you need and what you want, and what you think sounds good to you as well. Some people play through a Flyrig 5 from Tech 21. They think it sounds amazing. Well, great. So just use that. But if it doesn't do if it doesn't make you play the way you want to play, then find what works for you and then kind of suck it up and get on with it, you know, because if you just think a tube amp just sounds better, then just get a tube amp. And you can get so many different tube amps now. You can get ones that are £20, £30, and then put them through the PA. You don't have to buy a £100 tube amp, right? And I would never do that. I wouldn't want to take a £50 tube amp to a gig. I did it for a while. It's £54. It was kind of miserable. The tube amp I have now is the little combo I got is like £20, and then the extension speaker is £15. So there you go. That's a really lightweight rig, and you get a 1x10. So 1x10 in the combo, 1x10 extension cab, link them together. It's 25 watts. Okay, you need to mic it up. It's got a line out, but at least you've got something on stage then, and you've got that sound, and then you can run that into the front of the house. But I have, last time I used it, I did consider, should I just go digital and just use the Kemper next time? So, I don't know. I don't play enough band gigs to have actually taken it out and tried it enough. That's the problem with that. I'm always trying acoustic pickups and acoustic PAs and things. Like that's what I do full time. I don't do many band shows, so I don't get that many chances to actually plug in and turn up loud. I need to find a place around here where I can take some pedals and actually crank them up and use them with backing tracks in the actual full volume environment. That's something I want to do next year as well. David said his band does all direct with electronic drums and in-ears. See, I would love to do. I've never done that. I'd love to try it. I don't think I'll like it as much. I don't think I'll find it as fun as using the amps, but I just think it will probably sound really clean and just I don't know. I think it's definitely something I want to try soon. But he still says there are still some places where he takes an amp. So yeah, that's the thing. You really have to have both, you know. I think it's really a great idea to have a really great sounding, reliable, lightweight tube amp and some kind of digital product like a Kemper or a Quad Cortex, whatever you want to get, and dial it in as well as you can. Then sometimes you can use them together. Sometimes you can just use one or the other, and you've got a backup then as well. So I think that's probably the way to go. I've felt that with the in-ears for my acoustic. My acoustic sounds great through the in-ears, and there's things about the in-ears that I love for a solo acoustic show, but there's also that feeling of the sound being loud. I definitely miss it. That feeling of the sound in the room just bouncing around, even though it doesn't sound as good because it's not directly in my ears and it's all getting kind of mixed up in the room. There's something about that energy of the sound going around that I miss. And that's why some people have the real amp behind them and the in-ears. So they're not actually hearing the amp, but they're feeling the amp kind of push the sound. It's tough. It's all compromise. If a venue wanted you to go direct, could you use something as simple as one of the EAE mixers? Yeah, definitely. I love those EAE mixers. I was using one this year at an open mic that I was running. I was doing a night where I had guest musicians with me, and it was amazing because I had my TC pedal into one input of the QSC, and then if the guests wanted to come up, I would grab that little mixer, which had an XLR input and 3 1/4-inch jacks, and I would just plug them into that, plug the other musicians into that, and run that into the speaker, and I suddenly had all these other channels with this little tiny thing that was in my guitar case. Really great. So yes, you could do that. And you could also run your headphones out of that as well. The reason that I like the Voice Live 3, TC Helicon Voice Live 3 Extreme, is that it has a headphone output where you can then have a dedicated level, different mix to what you put through the front of house. And it also has this is crazy, it has microphones built into the pedal. So it's not ideal because the pedal's on the ground, but what those microphones allow you to do is to blend in some of the room sound into your headphones. That's amazing. Because when you just hear the headphones, sometimes you want that. So you might dial that out so you just have the headphones, and that can be really good because you're not hearing people talking and being loud and dropping glasses and things, right? That can be really good. But then there's those nights where you can just blend in those mics and actually hear people talking to you, hear the room, and get more of a feeling that you're in the room. That's such a great invention. That's really quite mind-blowing that they put that in there. That's the Voice Live 3 Extreme. Great product. Max, what would Liam use? That's the answer. Well, that's a great question, Max. What does Liam use? I don't think he uses in-ears. I think he just uses stage monitors. I don't know. He might use both. He might use both. But the thing with Liam is he doesn't care. He's just rock and roll. David, have a good band practice. Are you using the in-ears tonight? Enjoy. Give us a report next week on what gear you used and how it went. Because I like these real-world experiences and opinions. It's nice to have. So I think I'm going to wrap up. So do me a favor. Check out the shorts that I posted. Go on my channel, click on the shorts button, the Aaron Shorts shorts. And you can see the 3 shorts that I've posted so far. Watch those for me. I'll post some more of those. I'm going to do some different things. Some lessons, some tips, some mini reviews. Just different random stuff on there to see what works and what doesn't. This week, I'll have some stuff up, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because it'll be a surprise. And I will be live next Monday. Next Monday, definitely, to talk about what Santa brought you down the chimney. And yeah, just as always, I say this every time, but it's important. Just subscribe and ring the bell. Because if I do decide to go live randomly for some reason, or if I post a new video, look at that, it's in the way. If I post a new video or anything, you will be notified if you hit subscribe and ring the bell. It will tell you when I've gone live, tell you when I've posted a new video. It won't tell you when I've posted a new short, I don't think. You have to come on the channel and actually click on the shorts thing. But like I said earlier, the shorts are more of like a commercial for the channel. Just some extra stuff. Quick one from Chris here. I wonder if the Play Acoustic has that ability. And actually, yeah, David, before I go, I will just address that as well. Chris said, I wonder if the Play Acoustic has ability. Yes, it does. Does it? Room Sense. Does Play Acoustic? It does. Yeah, okay, it does. But the headphone amp on the Play Acoustic is not very loud. One of the main reasons I switched the Voice Live 3 Extreme is that on the Play Acoustic, I had to set the gains really hot, where they were almost clipping sometimes, in order for the headphone out to be a usable volume at a gig. With the Voice Live 3 Extreme, it's a much hotter headphone amp, so you don't have that problem. You can set your gains safely and run the headphone amp. So definitely check out the Voice Live 3 Extreme. I think they're still out of stock most places, but it's just so many cool things about that pedal that a lot of people don't even realize that it has. I'm just going to check, see if they're in stock yet on Sweetwater. Nah, still out of stock. But yeah, the way it has those built in, many little features in that pedal that are much better than the Play Acoustic. I still love the Play Acoustic. I have a few of them because they're so good and I've used them for so many years. But I do now use the Voice Live 3 Extreme for reasons like those better headphone amps and better options and things. I really love that thing. It's great. Yeah, before I go, David says, Carbon versus Wood reveal. I did this reveal. Let's do a quick recap. In fact, I thought to do this, what I would do is make a video basically saying, is Tonewood a load of rubbish? Because most people got the answer wrong. And most people that watch the channel are obviously watching the videos where I discuss different Tonewoods and play different guitars. I know a lot of us are fans of this stuff. Most people got it wrong. Shall we see what David said on the video? Let's see what some of you guys said. I'm just going to bring it up. Hang on. Let's mute this. Carbon fiber versus wood. And the thing is, you cannot have an opinion now, because now I'm going to tell you the answer. You cannot say, "Oh, I knew that." that's not allowed. Okay. So this is basically what we said here. Let me see if I can find David's answer. David said, I think, and the answer's in the comments, by the way, I've added it. I think A and B are Carbon Fiber, Rain Songs, and C is Wood, Cole Clark. You are so close, David. A was the new reissued WS1000 all carbon Rain Song guitar. B was the Rain Song vintage carbon guitar with a thin wood piece of spruce wood on top, mostly for cosmetic, does affect the sound a little bit. And C was wood, but it was not the Cole Clark. It was the Martin GPC 28E. So very good. Very, very good. But did you tell me what your favorite was? You said you liked A bit more than B. Okay, so you liked A. So A was, this is the thing that I found with this test. A was the all-carbon guitar. And if I read through some of the other comments quickly here, Victor M, to me, A sounded the most like traditional wood, whatever that is. A sounded like a Martin. A scored 1. Basically, a lot of these comments, A sounds best to me. A lot of these comments were saying that they liked A. A sounds best. So there was one comment, I will give him a shout out. Mark Carlton got it bang on. Said A is carbon fiber and is brighter and louder than B. B is carbon fiber and is darker, quieter than A. And C is wood. Mark, you did very well. He also goes on to say that he owns wood and Rainsong guitars, which I think is how you... So I think you can hear it, but it was an amazing video because so many people either got it wrong and thought that the carbon guitar was wood and vice versa, or the majority of people said that the favorite sound was the all carbon guitar. So there you go. Whatever that means. I thought that was awesome. And I thought I would do a video on that. I thought it would just be a mixed bunch of opinions and wouldn't be worth talking about anymore. But the fact that so many people like the all carbon guitar in a blind test makes me want to just say in the video, you know, does tone wood really matter as much as we think it does? I think that'll probably get a discussion going as well, for better or worse. But it was really quite amazing, and I really enjoyed that. And it tells me a lot about those guitars as well. And there we go. A was my favorite. So there we go. I've been telling you guys that the new reissued Rainsong WS1000 is a great guitar. And I love the fact that I'm now able to prove it because I recorded all 3 of them with this very Tascam. And the favorite of the guitars in general, the favorite was the new all-carbon Rainsong. Excellent. Excellent. I did ask Dave from Rainsong to do it, and he didn't. But he did do the last test we did, to be fair. But he didn't. And I joked with him that I would call Chris Martin and ask him to do it. I'm being a bit, look, I'm being facetious. The video that I'm going to make is going to say, I'm not telling you to throw away. This is a bit like digital versus analog, right? I'm not telling you to throw away your wooden guitars. I would still desire a vintage Martin with Brazilian rosewood, the same way that I still want to use a tube amp over a Helix, right? A lot of this stuff is psychological. It is preference. But I love that video that I did because it takes away that stuff and just gives you the sound. And again, it doesn't give you the sound in the room. It gives you the sound of these 2 microphones, right? But that video takes all of that fluff away and just gives you this and says, right, which one do you prefer? They're all new strings. They're all the same strings. Which do you prefer? And so many people preferred A. That's got to mean something, and that's got to be something to consider next time you're buying a guitar. And it should also be a reason to go and check out those WS1000s while they're on sale. Right now, they're $500 off. I think people should check them out because I love it and because it did so well in the comparison. But I also appreciate there's people out there that have no interest in carbon fiber and they want their guitar to be a Martin, and they would pick C even if they felt like A sounded 10 times better. They still want C. I get that, and a part of me is still like that as well. But it's made me feel really good now about the Rainsong because I knew I liked it, and now with that information, I really know that it's just a great instrument when you take it on sound alone. And it also feels great and plays great and everything else. So it was cool. David said bring it up on the unofficial Martin Guitar Forum. I mean, they're just going to say what I just said. And I'm not looking to start any fights or tease people. I honestly feel the same way. I'm still going to be buying more wooden guitars going forward. All right? It's not about that. I just want to close that argument of people that say that carbon sounds plasticky or doesn't sound any good. That's simply not true. And there is the proof. And that's one great thing about YouTube and these, again, even though it's over YouTube, even though it's just over one microphone or whatever, there is some proof that it's at least worth considering that guitar. So that worked out. I thought it worked out really well. And a couple of people did prefer C, but most people chose A. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I'll probably make that video, but I'll include those results in the video where I just basically ask the question, does tone wood really matter in acoustic guitars? Does the bracing style really matter? Just to get people talking, really, because I just think that went so well. And thank you for watching and leaving the comments on that. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. So once again, if you're new here, subscribe and ring the bell. That's the best way to know when I posted a new video. And if I don't see you before, have happy holidays and a very Merry Christmas. Take care and be well. And I'll see you back here next Monday. And if you get any, if you get any gifts, then share it with me next Monday. It'll be fun. So take care and be well. I'll see you next time. Thanks to Rosanna and Lee for moderating. Thankfully, we didn't seem to need any moderation today, which is great. And I'm going to go and turn this fire off. It's getting way too hot in here. And I've got some guitars hanging up there too. They're gonna be so dry. I better get going. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.